Good morning. My name is Purnima and I am an ICP student. I am doing the exam, taking the exam for grooming right now. This is my very close friend. Her name is Nilufer.
Hi everybody.
So she's my model for today and I'm going to do the day makeup and the evening makeup for her. So we start with mouth freshener. I'm going to prepare her initially before the makeup starts. Are you comfortable?
Yes.
Just a cape around her so that her clothes don't get soiled. Now I'm going to prep her face by cleaning her face. I'm going to use a cleanser, toner and a moisturizer with a day cream. There is SPF built in it. Just some water. I'm using an Avon cleanser, something that suits her skin type, which is slightly oily to combination. Using my fingertips, I'm just giving her a gentle massage, trying to cover all the nooks and corners of her face. Very gentle massage, just to ensure that the cleanser goes into the skin. Not to forget the neck area. There can be depositions of oil, sebum. I'm going to use some wet cotton to remove the cleanser. If you see, I'm either gently moving my hand upwards in direction or I am dabbing. Cleansing it with water once again, just to be doubly sure that the cleanser is off the face. Are you comfortable, Neelofa?
Yeah.
It's a good idea not to rub the face in any direction. It's a good idea to use the dabbing technique to remove the oil. in this face. After cleansing now, I'm going to use a little toner to tone the face up. Toner is good to take away any traces of either makeup or cleanser that may be left on the face, left behind on the face. I've just taken a few drops of toner onto the cotton ball and I'm just going to dab it. Niloufar does not have pimples on her skin, so a normal toner would be okay for her. For a person who has pimples, an astringent is recommended because it has alcohol content which prevents infection from spreading. So we're more or less done with the cleansing and the toning. Once the toner is applied, leave the face for about 30 seconds for the traces of toner to breathe out and the face to become dry. In the meanwhile, I'm going to use Anu from Avon, a face cream called Anu from Avon, which is basically a day cream with SPF 25, UVA and UVB protection. I used the hand sanitizer before I started, which I could not record. So, we're using the day cream very gently with the fingertips. Just massage the day cream into the eyes, forehead, not into the eyes, onto the eyes, forehead and the face. We need to make sure that there are no patches created by the day cream on the face. Even application upwards. Taking a little bit more for the neck. I allow the day cream to set into the skin for about a minute or so that there is no oiliness on the base, on the surface. The next product that I'm going to prep her face with is a primer. This will help the makeup set into the skin very well. This acts as a layer in between her natural skin and the makeup, hence protecting the skin against makeup. No matter how good the makeup quality is, the quality of the products are, a primer always acts as a barrier in between the makeup and the skin. Works in multiple ways. It protects the skin. It also helps the makeup to set into the skin very well. It also helps the makeup to stay on for a longer period of time. I'd like to now show you how I've arranged my makeup on the table here. Now I have put my initial cleansers and primers over here. This is my concealer, this is my foundation palette, and this is also the camouflage cream, which is concealer, the Derma product. And here is here are the powders that I'm going to be using. That I'm going to be using an apron so that I don't soil my clothes while doing Nilufer's makeup. So we start with priming the face. I'm going to take a little bit of primer I've taken onto the palette. I'm going to use it on the face. You don't need too much of product on the face if the quality of the product is good. I'm using a Kryolan primer. MAC also has very good primers, a little on the expensive side, but quality is very good. Estee Lauder, Clinique, all of them have primers. Christian Dior, Chanel. The primer and the foundation needs to be applied in the direction of the hair growth. All skincare products, while applying, like your creams and your cleansers, need to be applied away from the ground or the floor, because you need to work against the gravity. However, the foundations you need to apply along the hairline so that the hair doesn't facial hair doesn't stand out. So now her face is prepped and primed. Now we start with concealer. I see a few dark circles around here, around her eyes. That is, otherwise she's absolutely fine. There are some freckles which I see here. There are a little blackheads and there is a little reddishness in the area around the nose. So I'm probably going to use a little bit of um, concealer there. She primarily has an oval face and the jawline is going down, so she has slightly pointed chin. So what I'm going to see is what I'm seeing is that there is the cheekbone is not very prominent. So I'm going to do a little bit of correction here. I'm going to add a little cheekbone by using darker foundation or darker concealer around here to create that depth in the, so we'll see how it goes. I, as a person, am not too fond of using brushes for a concealer, so I will use my fingertip, which is again sanitized. I'm scooping out a little concealer onto my palette. I always tell students that to begin with, you don't have to invest in this. This may be a little expensive, and you may not want to do professional makeup. So it's good to use a CD, a new CD, and you can use that as a palette. I'm just going to use very little on the eyes. And concealer is something, as soon as I'm using FS Orange 303, concealer is something that as soon as you apply it, you need to blend it properly into the skin, otherwise it can create patches. I'm dabbing it, I'm not dragging it. Could you just open your eyes, please? just use the wedge to even out in the corners where I can't probably my finger can't go. So I'm just going to use the wedge to even out. And the wedge is very soft and very it's pointed, so I'm going to use that. I'm priming or rather using the concealer on the entire eyelid. So when I use eyeshadow, it's not going to look patchy. Open your eyes. Again, I'm using the wedge. Would you like to come a little forward? The entire eyelid is covered. I'm going to use the concealer in the, just turn it like this. Just a little there. And I'm going to use the wedge to work the concealer in. Just look at it, please. There are slight patches of red here or discolored. So, few freckles here, which I'm going to use the concealer on. They say that professionals say that 60% of the makeup time goes in preparing the face for color, which is the foundation, till the foundation and the powder, face powder, loose powder stage. So concealer, foundation and loose powder takes away 60% of the makeup time of a makeup artist. Right, so we're more or less there in terms of concealer. Now I'm going to try and find out which is the right color of foundation for her. Before which I'm going to use lip balm on her lips so that her lips are prepped up for lipstick and they're moistened and soft in a minute. Lip balm. Give me just one rabbit, please. This is the foundation palette that I have. I'm going to just check which one of these. Her face is a clear mix of yellow and orange. When we did the color for her, she's done the color clinic with me. So we know that she has yellow and orange on her face. So I'm going to pick out a foundation which has a mix of yellow and orange in it. way to find out whether the foundation works would be the middle of the forehead or the jawline. I think we found a foundation which is a color which is apt for her skin tone. So I'm going to again start with this foundation onto my palette. So there you go. I use a wedge to apply foundation, and I use the tip of a wedge to apply foundation. I feel that when we work with the brush, the brush tends to kind of absorb a lot of foundation, which I'm just kind of mixing foundation well because it is a little cakey in nature. Get the extra onto the wedge. She has beautiful skin, so she doesn't need too much of product on her face. So I'm just applying a little, using the other part of the wedge to work vertically for applying. Even application is important. And then I go horizontal so that there are no gaps. Again, I go back to the first side. I use the foundation. I dab it on her cheek all over. Use the other side for smoothing it vertically. We still haven't gone to the eye. While we are applying foundation over the area where we've applied concealer, we need to just understand that we cannot drag there and we need to dab. So we had the concealer here. So I'm just going to use the wedge to dab on top of it. I'm going to cover the nose now completely and use the other part of the wedge to dab again. I still haven't gone to the eye. A little bit of foundation on the lips will not spoil anything. In fact, now what I'm going to do is I've done with the horizontal, the vertical. Now I'm going to pull it out horizontally so that it gets mixed. Again, settle it vertically so that the hairline has gone back to the skin. The hair on the face has gone back to the skin. Now to the other side, and bring it back from wherever we finished with the forehead. Other side of the brush. It's important to blend together. I had finished this here, so I have to finish this here and blend this, the center, so that it doesn't look like I've done half the face here, and there's a line in between. Now horizontal, just to ensure that there is a lot of blending that's happened and there is no patchiness. So we're more or less done with the face. Now I need to do the eyes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask her to close the eyes, and from eyebrow line downwards, just lift this up and apply, turn and blend. Now there are two layers of product on the eyelid. One is the foundation and next is the uh, uh, before which is the concealer. Now both the products are creamy, so there is going to be caking that's going to happen. The crease lines are going to have product settling in. Lift your eye, open your eye. Not to forget the areas which are close to the lashes. Close. Again vertical, then horizontal, and then turn the second blade. Again, need to dab it more than dragging because it needs to be very soft because the concealer should not come out. Just once again, in the end, turn out the wedge and even out. Now for the neck and the ears. Yeah. More often than not, one can tend to forget the ears and the neck, so they can kind of start looking like not your part of the body. So just going to loosen this a little so that okay. Then if you see, I'm using the vertical stroke first because I don't want to be getting confused whether I've covered the area or not. So as a practice, I have taught myself to do the vertical first, then the horizontal. So even in the subconscious, I cannot forget it. I'm turning the wedge and again doing the horizontal. This is important, otherwise there can be patches of makeup on the face. So now, again, like I said, crease lines can form. This is a very natural thing. Until we do the eye makeup, there is constant crease line that's going to happen on top of the eyes. So we're kind of done with the foundation. Now I'm going to use a darker foundation to bring the lines, which we call as cut the face. A darker foundation. Just need to mix it a little to get the creamy effect. Then I'm going to use one part of the wedge for the darker one. It's not a good idea to dip the brush or the wedge or your finger into the foundation palette, just so that you will not end up taking infection from one person and passing it on to somebody else. Your makeup products and brushes, etc., can be potential carriers for infection. So everything needs to be sanitized every time after use. So if you notice the cheekbone is slightly flatter, I would like to create this bone standing out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just look at where the bone is. Just smile a little more. Yeah, okay. So you can see the apple of the cheek, and this could be the potential cheekbone. So I'm going to create a line that goes right below. Okay, and I'm going to pull this down. Not too much into the cheek, but to the side. So if you see, I've created a kind of a triangle. Now I'm going to blend it. Again, like I said, blending is the most important activity here. It shouldn't look like somebody's created something. So I'm going to use this part of the wedge to blend. One wedge would be enough. One piece of this wedge is kind of enough for one person. And then of course I dispose this off because I don't want to use it again. It's not very expensive, so it's blended in very well. If you notice that there is a cheekbone that, can you see that, Nilüfer?
Yes.
Hmm? Vis-a-vis here.
Yeah.
Just turn this side. Vis-a-vis here it's plain, and you can see that there is a, we can even give it a little more of a extended or a darker look. So visuals. Would you smile for me? An important thing for a makeup person to do, or a makeup artist to do, is to check whether there is a balance on both the sides, just so that the face doesn't look like it's got too much on one, too little on the other. So we've got the cheek cuts. I also would like to cut the jawline or define a jawline. If you see, there's a blend of the face is a little blended here. So I would like that natural jawline to, be cut here. So I'm going to use the same color to just create that jawline. And of course, the trick is to blend it downwards or outwards. If there is a receding jawline, this is a good thing to do. Even for people who have trouble with their double chin, this will work. So we're just using the darker color right now. I'll be using the lighter color in a bit to highlight the as a highlighter just above the jawline. Similarly, I'm going to use a little more of the dark color, creating a sharper nose. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this on the tip of take the dark color on the tip of the wedge here. Okay. And using the same, she has a sharp nose, but I would like the nose which is slightly flatter here to stand out. So to from the mid of the bridge to the tip of the nose and outwards. Similarly, again use the middle of the wedge to blend it so that there are no definite lines that are there. Creating the tip is also important and blending it. I always believe in my finger. use a lighter foundation for highlighting. Take off all the reminiscence of the darker foundation. Take a slightly lighter foundation than the uh, normal foundation that I used for her to create the highlight. Lighter foundation just above the eyebrows, so that this part of your eyebrows is standing out. Lighter foundation on the bridge of the nose. So whichever part of the face needs to be highlighted, you use a lighter foundation. Whichever part of the face needs to be taken in or hidden, you need darker. I'm going to use a little highlighter on the cheekbone so that the cheekbone looks like it's out. Very little, just on the bone, to give that illusion of a lift cheek. You can see it now, closer. Yeah. Whereas this is looking just somewhere inside. You create that magic with the highlight. And we use a little bit of highlighter on the lip, or on the upper lip area around the upper lip, to create the pout. We use a little bit of the darker foundation, however, under lip for the same reason. I'm going to use a little highlighter on the cheek here, on the area where, just above the area where I've used the darker shade. I'm blending it to give that lifted effect. Again, we're kind of done with the foundations. Now I'm just going to check the face so that it is even on all sides. More or less there. This is the foundation brush. Choosing a foundation, the powder, not the foundation brush. I'm using the loose powder, which is slightly yellow in color. I'm going to use the brush to dust off on her face, literally dust off on her face. This will help the foundation to set in. Just hold this one, please. There is a lot of powder on her face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just dust off the, the brush completely of the powder. I'm just going to brush it. On the ears too. Dust off the excess powder so that it doesn't look cakey. Now the face is ready for the eye makeup. We've done the foundation, priming first, foundation, and then the concealer, then the foundation, then we've used the loose powder. We've also used the corrective makeup technique. Now I'm going to do the eye makeup. So since I'm going to show you the first the day look, so I'm going to use light shades on the eye so that she'll be ready to go for her work. Right, Nilüfer? So the first thing I'm going to work on is the eyebrows, and I will just see if there is any fillers. Yes, I can use fillers on in this corner and slightly inside. So I'm going to use the slant brush, a very thin slant brush for filling. I'm going to use brown as a color because black can be overwhelming. I'm going to now use rice paper or white or light colored eyeshadow just below the eyebrow just to create a highlight. So I'm deciding to use white right now. Dipping my brush into white. Make sure that the thumb, your fingers are not greasy or does not have any makeup on it. Like I said earlier, there are creases that are possible on the eye. So just even out those creases before you start doing the eye makeup. Creases of foundation and concealer. Take a neutral color for the day. My brush is slightly broad and fluffy, so it will kind of help me to apply the eyeshadow on the entire eyelid. So I'm going to start with the bottom part of the lid, fill that up and apply on top. all the way up till where I applied the highlighter, but not overlap it. Eyeliner needs to be, eyeshadow needs to be blended very well, otherwise it can look kicky on the eye. So I'm going to repeat that same thing on the other side. White highlighter. Removing the crease. This shade of eyeshadow which I've used is more than enough for tea look, and we don't need to use any more color because this is subtle and very elegant. I'm going to use the liquid eyeliner. With a brush which is a zero brush. So I'm just going to dip the brush and smooth it out into one line. And I'm going to ask Nilüfer to relax, because if her eyes are quivering, then the line might go wrong. Nilüfer, just relax. Relax. Just open out half. Look at me. Just not. Open fully. While applying eyeliner, the technique is for a person who knows how to apply it, so from the inner corner to the outer corner, while taking this, the line can kind of, go wavy, so you need to blend it in very well. For people who do not know how to, or are not used to applying eyeliner, you can go from the mid to the outer corner and then join the inner end to the middle. done is I have covered the corners of the eyes also, so that the eye looks complete. So we're done with the eyeliner for Nilofer. As soon as you finish the eyeliner, make sure that you've got the product off your hand, otherwise you can deposit that into your face again. I'm going to ask her if she'd like some um, pencil in her eyes. Would you like it? Or you want to go subtle like this? It's fine. This is fine because it's a day look. It's her choice because she's going to go to work from here. So I'm going to let go of the pencil, otherwise you can use the pencil in the inner lip. Next thing I'm going to use is a mascara. This also is a super extreme, which will give you long lashes. For mascara is take help of the tissue, because this can actually, the mascara can spray and spoil your makeup. Place the tissue over here before I apply. Open the mascara. You can see this blob around here. Remove that, otherwise it can spoil your makeup. Okay. Okay. Look, keep your head straight and look straight. I'm using the mascara on top of the lashes first, because there could be eyeshadow deposition there, and then pulling it out. This is an eyeshadow curler. I should have used it before I did the mascara. I missed out on that step, but I'm going to show you that this way. So hold the curler in this direction. Can you just look a little upwards, please? Slightly lower. I'm going to hold this open like this. Place the lash in between this and don't blink. I think give it one press and just open the eyes. Don't go over it. The curler helps the eyelashes to open out and go upwards. I'm going to use while this one dries, I'm going to use the mascara on the other. Just on top, then pull it out from the bottom. Now we need to still cover the lower lash. The upper lash is dried. So can you just open your eye out a little? This one. Open. So we're done with the mascara. Now the eye makeup is almost done for the day look. It's a little subtle. Now I'm going to finish this up with lipstick and with a little bit of a blush on, color on the cheek. This is a wonderful brush for blush on, because this is angular. Okay, and goes on very well all along the cheek. I'm going to use a lightly pinkish shade of blush, very light pink, and a very light application as well. So on the cheekbone. application. Over here, I'm going to use a slightly darker bronze brown kind of a blush on the same area that I have created a dip. You can use, for corrective makeup, you can use both blush as well as your foundation. So I'm going to go again here and use a little bit of a darker shade. A slightly, little bit of the darker shade. I'm using a very light pink and mix of pink and nude on her lips because it's day wear. So I'm going to use a pink on her lips. And just go back a little. Creating an outline first. I'm using the same color to fill. Just open it up. Smaller lips again. Now that we're done with the makeup, I'm going to actually tease her hair a little bit on the sides because she's got a flattish texture of hair here. I'm going to brush it up a little, tease it, and get her hair ready to go with the makeup. So tail comb, which I'm using. So I'm going to use three sections. So I'm going to take this section, this section, third section, and I'm going to tease it. This is called the teasing technique. This is just so that there is volume created on top. Take the next section. I'm going to take all the teased hair together, ease out the hair at the back. I'm not going to be combing the hair, I'm just going to be setting it in. To be creating a illusion of height. Nilufar is a manager in Avon, which is a multinational company. She needs to look more authoritative and look like she's got height. Her height is average, which is Indian average, which is about 5'2", 5'2", 5'3". So we're going to give her an illusion of height with her hair. Just twisting the hair a little and just put it up. Okay. I'm going to use this section of hair in the front to cover up the hair which I have teased at the back for a neat look. This section of the hair can be combed out so that it's neat. Using tic tacs. has told me that she likes her hair to be tied in a low pony and not in a bun. So I'm going to follow her wishes. Just look at me. So she's, I think, now good to go to work. Would you like to come closer? Just, yeah, yeah. Are you happy?
Yes, very much.
Is it good?
Yeah, it completely transformed me.
Right. So I'm now going to continue the same makeup and bring it out into what you can do with your face for evening. Let's say that you want to go for a party in the evening. What would you like? Do you like smoky eyes?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yeah.
So let's do a smoky eyes on you and convert this face into an evening made up kind of face. Okay? Are you okay?
Yes.
Would you like to see it from the side? This side? You can see this
Yeah. The
cheekbone,
cheekbone.
prominent cheekbone, the highlighting.
Yeah.
It's all worked.
Agree.
Evening makeup, which is basically a smoky eye makeup, is a lot of work on the eyes and very subtle lips. So what I'm going to do is, so that I don't grease my hands while I'm just going to use some tissue to take away the lipstick. Okay, I'm just going to dab it on your lips. Yeah. That's it. Just so that you don't have lipstick going all over. The foundation remains the same, everything else remains the same, so I'm going to work on her eyes. I'm going to be working with a variety of brushes. Basically, all these are applicator brushes in different sizes, these three of them, which you see. I use this one for darker eyeliner so that I don't get mixed up. And this is also an applicator, but this it's very thick. And I have this, which is a rounded tip, which is basically a depositor, and I will be using this for the lashes and the eyebrows. These are slant brushes, basically to create definite lines. This is a thicker version or a bigger version of it. Slant brush. I'll be using this for smudging. Goes the apron. Since we've done the basic foundation, the base for the foundation, for the eyeshadow, I'm going to now start off with using kajal to smudge the base of smoky eyes. I'm going to use the smudger. Both are going to work in pair now. So now I'm just checking for any marks on my hand. Okay. Just close your eyes. So I'm going to apply kajal liberally on the area close to the lash. Okay, just close. I've applied a thick layer. I'm going to take the smudger and I'm going to be smudging it sideways and slightly upwards. I'm going to be bringing it up. Please bear with me. Creating a kind of a gradual progression or a gradation from the lash line upwards. I'm going to do a second coat. Same thing. Okay. I'm going to be using the fan brush to remove whatever excess falls down. It's a good idea to deposit a little bit of translucent powder on the cheek. Just be able to come a little closer to see that there is a gradation from here upwards with the help of the. I'm going to do the same thing this side. A little dosage of kajal will help. Second coat. So we've used these two. Now moving on to the eyeshadow. What is the dress, the color of the dress? Very brown. She's wearing a brown dress, So I'm going to give her a smoky eyes with black and brown combination. Just hold this, please. Like I said, I'm going to use the darker brush and I'm going to use black. I'm using black over the smudge what I've done just to set the smudge in. It's like now I've created a base for the smoky eyes. Now I need to use brown. I need to use a little more black and blend it together. I'm taking a little red brown, close eyes, depositing it in the middle. I'm now going to take black and create a D here in the outer corner of the upper part of the lid and blend it in. Create this depth here. Now use the lighter one. Use the natural lighter eyeshadow which I used earlier just to create a blend just above the lid. So there is a blend of colors so that there is no line, clear cut line to it. Just come forward a little so you can see close both the eyes. You can see that there is a demarcation. I'm trying to blend this and create a gradation kind of a look. It's still not complete. Take a slant brush, dip it into black, very little of it, and try and create a corner. Okay, just come closer, go close. So this part of there's a corner created. And take a little more brown and blend. Last coat of black is required. Blend again. Now I'm going to use this slant brush to wipe off the black that is there. Use a little brown, the same color that I've used on top. Just look up, please. Open. To deposit it around the lower lash. Take this brush and blend it. Now take a little black and just deposit this closer to the lash. we do the same thing on the other eye. So I'm going to take black and use that as a base first. Take the brown. Deposit it in the middle. You can use the same brown brush, the brush which I used brown. Wipe off the brown. Take the natural shade. Use it for blending. Go back to black again. Close. More or less there. Now I'm going to take the depositor. Take a little bit of the brown. Close. On the eyeball, I'm going to deposit it. Since she's going out for a party now, I'm going to use a little bit of gold for deposition in the middle. Now I need to use my slant brush for depositing the brown. Can you please look up? I'm using this brush to blend it. I'm going to use the same slant brush, using black again to repeat what I did on the other eye. Open. Slant brush, black, close, create a little bit of line. Right. Nilufer doesn't use lenses. I knew that. If she used lenses, I would have asked her to apply the lens first and then this. Or if I was going to do smoky eyes, then I would have asked her to use the lens at this stage before I use the liner. So that if there is any correction, any water coming to or coming out, I could have corrected that right away. Right after this, using a lens would be difficult because you would have applied mascara, you would have applied eyeliner, etc., etc. So this would have been the right time to use lens if you had. Let's take this away from here. Now I feel that the highlighter that we used, can I take this? Highlighter that we used below your eyebrow could be more prominent. So I'm going to use a little more white there now because this is smoky eyes. eyes, you need to also use rice paper in the inner corner of your eyes. So I'm going to use a little bit of the rice paper. Can you just look that side? This is to create the teardrop effect. Can you look this side, please? I'm going to use a thick layer of eyeliner on top of her eyes. I personally prefer the liquid eyeliner because you have steady hands, it can really help you get the definite shape. So, would you like to do this? Close your eyes. Would you like me to fix false lashes for you? No? Okay. She doesn't prefer false lashes, but at this stage you can fix the false lashes before you apply the liner. Close. For the night look, your eyeliner can be really thick and nice. Do you mind opening your eyes a little, not too much? Clean up any dark spots. I'm using the fan brush. Just open your eyes, please. I've not removed all the powder, but I've removed the deposits in the face. Again, remove the extra excess which is there. Just going to use this to look straight and don't blink. 3 pumps of this. Just sit straight and look straight. I'm going to coat the top first, then pull it upwards at the bottom. I need to fill her lower lid with um, kajal. So I'm going to just wait for the mascara to dry up a little. Just can you just get it? I don't want to spoil her face, so I'm going to use this to hold here while I apply. Look up. I'm going to really fill her eye up. Look up. Slant brush can also be used for corrections and to smudge the lower end. I'm going to use the fan brush now to clean up. We're almost there. Look up. If you just look up, please. Just relax. Look up. I'm going to use a little powder. Okay. Just look up, please. Just brush off. If there is any um, cakeiness, patchiness which is created because of my hand, that will also like ease out. You can see that there are a couple of freckles which are seen, so I'm going to cover them up quickly now so that it's very visible. I'm again dipping my wedge into the concealer and just covering them up. This could happen in makeup. Just have you can just have some part of the face concealer might have just gone off, so you can just quickly correct it. Cover it up with a little bit of a foundation. Brush off the excess. You can just see your face. If there's any correction which is wrong, just look up. There's a little smudge over here, so I'm just using the wedge. Just look up. To correct it. Now I'm going to use the eyebrow pencil to just quickly brush my eyebrows. The end. for the lips, we have done heavy eyes. So for the lips, I would go very light. And before I do lips, I think I would like to give you a touch of blush, because we removed the blush while in the process. You going party?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to use bronze.
Okay.
Okay, so that will also help you highlight. And I'm going to use a little pink over here.
Okay.
I'm going to go really dark on the bronzer. Yes, I know it. Use a little bronzer, and then I'm going to blend. Use and blend. Okay, I'm going to use bronzer here. Blend it. And I'm going to use this light over here to add a little of color. Using pink, a little color over here, because in the party lights you're going to look a little dull if there's no color on it. Go really light on the lips with nude. Is that okay with you?
Yep.
I will line it with very light pink and then fill it with nude. So I'm going to use nude right now to fill. Just open out your mouth. Now, since she's going for a party, I would like to use a little gloss on her lips. To get a little more sensuous. Gives you a good pout. Okay, now she's ready with her face. Now we need to get her looking gorgeous with her hair. My best friend, my tail comb. I'm going to ease out, very slowly ease out all the tangles that's been created by teasing earlier. How do you like to wear your hair, Nifa? Open?
Yeah.
Would you like me to style it a little and then leave it open because the hair is a little
Yeah.
oily?
Yeah.
You detangle your hair first. Still. Again, for people who have straight silky hair like Nilüfer, this is a natural texture. It's very difficult to get a look where you can actually take your hair out from the side and leave it like this. This is what every woman likes to wear her hair. Most women like to wear their hair like this. But with this texture, your hair is not going to stand out like this for the one and a half hours or 2 hours of your party. So again, my favorite technique of teasing I'm going to be using here to help you leave your hair open and with uh, the style staying on for a longer period of time. So I'm going to be teasing your hair again in portions at the crown especially. This is my technique. First ease the other hair out. To create volume at the crown, you just leave this as is. I'm going to layer the teas so that the hair is voluminous and it stays. See, the hair is teased up and looking naturally visible. Don't comb this. Nifa.
Yeah.
Just leave it as is. You could spray this in place. You could spray this between the teas also and then layer it. So here you go. There you go. Okay. So, would you just want to come closer to the camera and show your eye makeup? Maybe you'd like to close your eyes. Close your eyes completely. Don't see. Don't see it. Yeah. So that's your smoky eyes. Open your eyes out. And thank you very much, Nifa. She's
Thank you so
taken
much.
time off from her work to come and help me do my assignment.